Hello, this is Aitana, and you are listening to Season 1 of the Swim in the Strait podcast, where we talk with swimmers of all sorts from the New Zealand swimming arena, from swimming every day through the winter to crossing the Cook Strait. We will hear stories of passion, perseverance, and dedication. Welcome to episode 6 of Season 1 of Swim in the Strait. Today's guest went from a casual 1K swim in her wetsuit in 2020 to an epic 17.5K swim in Lake Taupo in 2022. I have the pleasure to talk today to Adriana Milne. Hello, Adriana. Thank you very much for joining us today in Swimming the Strait podcast. I am very excited to have you here with me. How are you?
Tēnā koe, Aitana. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, we had squad this morning, which was good. Yeah, how are you?
I'm very well. I had a very nice swim this morning as well. It was fresh and cold, but refreshing. So just the perfect situation to start a podcast about swimming. So yeah, it is great. So yeah, I want to discuss today a few things with you. Just talk about your swimming and how do you start swimming and what are your goals. And my first question is normally always the same. Have you always been a swimmer?
Yeah, so I think I started swimming as an infant. My parents, took me to swimming lessons, and then I continued weekly swimming lessons up until I was about 12. So I had a bit of a break during my teenage years and early adulthood, and then I came back to it at the end of 2019. I started swimming again.
So when you came back swimming, why was that?
I actually my dad had passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was looking for something. I wanted to exercise to just move and just get rid of all this, extra energy and express it, I suppose. And so I swam as a child, and so I had really good memories, of being a child. Obviously my dad was around then, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll just go down to the pool, start swimming some laps. I did that for maybe a couple of months just by myself, and then I found out about ocean swimming.
Mm-hmm.
I think a video popped up on my Facebook feed one day, and I thought, oh, that's so weird. Like, I can't believe people do that. And I got quite curious. I thought, I wonder if anyone does that in Wellington. And so I started searching around on, Google and Facebook, and I found the Wellington Ocean Swimmers Facebook page. And I think I popped up a message, or I was looking through the comments to try find out when people would meet up. And I think I messaged Rachel actually in the washing machines, because she had commented on a few of those posts. And I said, oh, Rachel, is it okay if anyone shows up to, the 7:30 on the weekend swims? And she's like, yeah, I won't be there, but just show up and look for a Dougal. And so I went down to the pool. I think I was on my learner's license still then, so my mum had to supervise me driving. So we went down to the pool. I dragged her down on Sunday morning, and then we were still meeting in the entrance, the foyer of Freiburg back then. And I saw this group of people and their togs huddling around, and I went up to someone and I said, oh, excuse me, are you Dougal? And they turned around and they said, no, that's Dougal, and pointed at Dougal. And I said, oh, hi, are you Dougal? Like, I'm here to swim with you guys. And he said, you're late.
Oh, good start.
And I thought, okay, I thought it was quite positive. I felt like I was immediately accepted.
Yes. Straight into it.
So we went outside. I was in a wetsuit. I bought a wetsuit just to swim because I thought that's what you had to do. I went for my first ocean swim. It was February 1st in 2020. I went to the first buoy, and then it was really choppy, and I was definitely overwhelmed with everything.
Yeah.
So then I just looped around the fountain and through the pontoons, and I was with Emma, I think. And that was my first ocean swim, and I was just hooked from there.
Yeah, wow. And that is for a first open water swimming, that is around a K.
Yeah. I think it's about a K first, fountain, pontoon.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, that's a good start. And good that you started with your wetsuit, though, because, first time for everything. It can be a little bit overwhelming, I agree.
Yeah.
But wow, so this was 2020. And now you are... What is happening now? Now you are all in.
Now I swim 3 squads a week. When I'm training in the summer, I'll do an extra pool set by myself, so that's 4 pool sessions a week plus 2 ocean swims at least a week, and then sometimes I do a little bit of yoga as well, just to help the body feel good and unwind from all the swimming.
Yeah. So why are you swimming so much? What is in the horizon?
So looking forward to next season, I would love to swim across Lake Taupo. So that's the 40.2k swim. So right now I've just, my event for this past season was the epic swim. So that was 10k and 2.5, followed by the 5k.
Is that in Taupo as well?
Yeah, sorry, in Lake Taupo. So I had a bit of downtime after that. That was at the end of March. And now, what was the question? Sorry.
The question was that why are you swimming so much at the moment? What is in your horizon?
Yeah.
What are your goals?
Yeah, so my goal my next goal would be to swim an ultramarathon. So I've done 3 10k swims, enjoyed them, feel great afterwards. I feel like after I did the epic event in Lake Taupo, it just, something clicked in my mind and I thought, oh, Lake Taupo is only 4 10k swims. I can do that.
Of course you can. Well, it is pretty impressive to go from 2020 swimming 1k in open water to now have done 3 10k. I was very impressed because I think your second 10k was my second 10k as well, and you did so well.
Was that at the Epic Swim 2021 in January?
Yes, it was.
That was my first 10k swim ever.
Oh, okay. Well, you did so well. I remember that you were still with your wetsuit, and
yes.
then I think I missed your second 10k, but then on the third 10k, it was amazing. You've gone from first 10k with wetsuit, and how long did it take you?
That was 3:34.
And the third 10k was no wetsuit, and
that was 3:12 or 3:15.
Yeah, that's amazing. So the progression has been exponential. So all that swimming is paying off. It is just shows that the training, you have to train hard if you want to. You have to put the work to get there. Yeah,
and I guess that, there's the physical side, obviously getting down to the pool and going outside, all that. But I guess the mental side as well. The first 10k I swam was really brutal. I remember I was on the home stretch and I only had a k to go and I was crying. I took off my goggles and I was like bawling my eyes out doing breaststroke. That's why I was so upset. I felt like it's such a cool thing to swim a 10k. I was so close to finishing and I thought the person I wanted to be there when I finished was obviously my dad, and he wasn't going to be there. So I thought, well, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do this great thing without him. And then I don't know, what happened? The lifeboat pulled up with the fire people and they saw me crying and they're like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm having a cry."
What? I am trying to finish my 10k and just crying.
What does it look like?
What is wrong?
And they said, "No, you're not." And they sped off.
Oh, no.
And I thought, well, fuck. Oh, well, I have to finish this now. So it was miserable. I finished the 10k and then afterwards I just burst into tears. But yeah, overcoming that was amazing. And yeah, I guess the mental barriers as well that you overcome alongside the physical training, that's powerful.
It is so powerful because at the end, like, the training prepares your body to do the job, but then you have to do all the work, all the mental work in order to do it, to be there and do it, and overcome all those thoughts that when you're tired and it's a long swim and you're swimming on your own, right? Like, so you have to be in good terms with your brain in order to, try to control a little bit what is that you're thinking. And so that is very impressive that you could finish.
Thank you.
That, yeah, very impressive. So do you do something to prepare yourself mentally?
Mentally, I don't think I don't actively mentally prepare. I'm mentally prepared for the epic swim out of pure stubbornness. For the summer, that was my event that I was training for, and then a lot of people around me were training for Lake Taupo, Cook Strait, all these amazing things that I wanted to do. And so I had that sense of FOMO, and COVID was, I think we had moved to the traffic lights, and so there was more COVID in the community, and I was really paranoid about catching COVID and getting sick. So I was living like a hermit, just going to swimming, working from home, not doing a lot of social things. And I think in February or even March, I was thinking maybe I shouldn't go to the, epic. Oh, what if I get sick? Rah, rah, rah. And then I just thought, I've spent all summer training for this. All these people around me are doing really cool things. Like, I don't care. I'm just going to go. And I think that stubbornness, made it a really enjoyable event.
You smashed it.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you find having that environment that is supportive and that, having all these people that have done such amazing things or are preparing for such amazing things helps on your own journey?
Yes, definitely. I think just even when you go to a squad session and you see the same faces every day, even when it's a hard set, they're there with you. And obviously we're all swimming by ourselves. We've got we're in our own thoughts, but I think it's great to, watch people get through hard sets and watch them do all these amazing things. It's inspiring, and I think I'm around them. Well, I find the community is very welcoming and very uplifting. People say, oh, you can do that, you could do this, and I do that with other people as well. I think it's just a really supportive, encouraging environment.
I think so too. I think that makes a big difference. I was talking to someone else in the podcast a few weeks back, and we were discussing that, yes, swimming is a one-person sport, but it's never just you. It's your crew when you do long events, it's the people you have around. And also just now we were talking about going swimming on your own in the ocean. Like, normally we do go with people because it's just like pushes you, it just gives you some comfort and some safety, and it is good to have a good group around you. Makes it a little bit easier to get to your goal.
And then I wouldn't say people are bad influences, but sometimes if you've ever been at the 1K and someone says, oh, the lighthouse is just there. I guess we're going to the lighthouse now.
Yes, yeah, I have had a few of those. Like, you get there and someone goes like, oh, let's go a little bit further. And you go like, okay.
Okay, what else am I doing?
Exactly, why not? Cool, that is very cool. Yeah, I agree that having a good group just makes it easier. And so what is next? It's Taupo, and do you have any more goals in the horizon?
When I first started open water swimming, I got in my head that I could swim the Cook Strait and that I would be doing it. So that was actually something I thought I would work towards first before Lake Taupo, but I think Taupo is the one I want to do first. Then after that, I would be, depending on how that went, if that went well, I really would be keen to start thinking about the Cook Strait as the next goal.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Just for our listeners that don't know what Taupo or Cook Strait is, Taupo is the biggest freshwater body in New Zealand, and it's 40.2 k's. And Cook Strait is the body of water that joins or separates the North Island from the South Island in New Zealand, and it is such a special place, and so many people try to swimming, and it's such a hard swim, right? It is around 26k.
I think at point to point it's somewhere in the early mid 20Ks, but with the tides you could be swimming a lot farther.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you have all these tidal currents that you have to time them well in order to make your life easier. And of course the cold. The
cold is not something I'm great with. Yeah.
Because we're looking at what, 10 hours, 12 hours of swimming?
For the Cook Strait?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is colder than Lake Taupo as well. So yeah, you're in the water for, 10 hours it could be.
So how do you cope with cold at the moment?
At the moment, I just bought a new woolen duvet inner, which is really nice. So I try to stay warm overnight, and then when I go down to the beach, I'm in a lot of thermals, really thick jersey, puffer jacket, everything. I'll try to have a warm drink before I go in as well, and I'll take a flask of just warm water for afterwards. So I try go in really warm. I don't hang around on the beach too much. I don't know if you've seen me get in the water. I just kind of go straight in.
Yes.
Yeah, so I do keep my swims a bit shorter as it gets colder. Yeah, and then I get out, have my warm water, and I know I shouldn't be showering, but sometimes I do.
Sometimes you can't avoid it, right? Like the thought of the warm shower after a cold swim.
Yeah.
It's too tempting.
Yeah, and then a lot of warm clothes and coffee under the heater.
Yes. That helps. One of the things that fascinates me in all these endurance sports is the thoughts, is the brain. Because we were talking before that you can train your body to be prepared for the event, but the brain is always this machine that you have to kind of be in good terms with. So when you're swimming for long swims, what are you thinking about? What is happening in your brain?
So I have been through therapy in 2020. I spent most of that year in therapy, and we did ACT therapy, so acceptance and commitment therapy. And so a lot of that is recognizing the thought but being separate from it. So your brain will think a thought and you can say, well, thanks brain, thanks for thinking that thought, that's not helpful right now, so I'm gonna ignore that and continue with what I'm doing. So I encounter that a lot I do get quite anxious when I swim. So with the jellyfish, and sometimes I get paranoid that I'm going to be eaten by a shark. The cold bit aspect as well. I get very worried that I'm going to get too cold, or sometimes I can feel myself getting cold. But instead of playing into that thought and, letting it encompass me, I kind of just notice it and I'll distract myself. If we talk about the cold, when we did the Lake Brunner distance camp in December 2021, I found it quite cold. It was very overcast, and I would just imagine myself being warm. So I pictured myself swimming laps in Thorndon Pool on a nice summer's afternoon. The pool itself I always find it way too hot. I would feel the sun on my back and just imagine, and I could actually feel it on my skin, just that, well, not prickling, but just the sensation of the sun on my skin. So I will kind of imagine that. Sometimes I'll imagine being on the beach in my bikini and the sound of the waves and the feeling of the sand and the smell of the sunblock, and I can feel the the encompassing heat from the sun. So I just imagine being warm.
I think that it's beautiful that you can actually, instead of letting your brain go wild, just think about all these thoughts that are keeping you warm. That it's just kind of, like just keep this on your chest that brings that peace and that awareness of the moment, and that we are in this present moment and we're doing this and we can do this. So I find that very beautiful to get in an agreement to your brain and say, okay, yes, those thoughts are not helpful. We're going to think about things that are going to help us achieving the goal or achieving the swim or getting over the cold.
I think thinking of firming thoughts as well, one that I think quite a lot before I get in the water is I say to myself, I trust myself and I'll let my body carry me through this swim. And yeah, I just try relax. Sometimes I find myself, I'll get very relaxed and okay, I won't fall asleep, but
good.
I feel like I'm almost resting. I remember over the summer we did a swim from Freiburg Beach to Hataitai Beach and back. That was beautiful.
How far was that?
I think that's around 8K. And I found myself, I was visualizing myself living in this tree house, and I had the fire going and there was a lazy boy seat and I had my feet up and I was wrapped in a blanket and I had my eyes shut, but I was still aware of everything that was going on around me. So I was swimming and I noticed, oh, there's a jellyfish down there, but I'm not really bothered and my body's just mechanically moving and I'm very peaceful in my mind. So sometimes I guess I'm meditating.
Yeah, I find that it's really close to meditation. Yeah, because I meditate every day. And I find that when I get in the water and I can get to that state of relax and not being anxious about all those things, then I can just get into the zone and just keep going. You just there. Like you're one with the environment.
Yes.
And you just can keep swimming forever.
Yeah.
That is great. That is very beautiful. Do you think swimming has helped with your mental health, with your...
Amazingly. It's interesting. There's two parts to swimming for me. There is the physical moving your body and getting the endorphins and all the benefits of that. And then the other part is the community around it. So for me, swimming is the first thing, and then you obviously go for coffee after, have a chat. I think there's a book called The Body Keeps the Score, and that's one of the themes in there is about how trauma physically manifests in the body and how we're quite removed from the way life kind of used to be and how there was more community in the past. So finding community and building community and being a part of it and, bringing people into that is really important. And I think that was probably more than the physical swimming itself what helped me through my grief and overcoming my depression and everything like that. So I'm incredibly grateful every day to everyone that I'm around in this amazing community, and just the swimming is incredible.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great to hear because, definitely I think all these sports and not only the physical, but the community, it does help. And it helps with what we were saying before about uplifting you and supporting you with your goals, but also with all the other things that go on in your life. Because one of the things that I'm also interested is the swimmers that are juggling with all the other things in their lives, right? They are trying to achieve these big swims or big goals, but they also have to work, and some of them have families, and you have the social part or your social life, and it's all these pieces that you bring all together, and it is not easy to put them all, fit them all together to make them work. So finding that social part of it with the community, I think it is important, and just reverberates across all the pieces of your life. It's not only the swimming.
I suppose even when I'm having a bad day or I'm in a feeling, in a rut, I can always go down to the pool, go down to the beach, go down to the cafe, and there's always going to be someone there, and I can, well, not be distracted by that, but I can be a part of that for a little bit in the morning, and that can kind of pull me through.
Yes, and also you've done already something for yourself. I found that really encouraging. Like, you do your swimming on your first day. You do your swimming first thing in the morning, and then you've won the day already.
Yes.
You've done something, you've achieved something, and then you can go like, okay, if the rest of the day goes wrong, that's fine, because I've already swam in 12-degree water and had my coffee.
Yeah.
And I can face the day with a different mood.
Yeah.
So next is, your next goal will be Taupo.
Yes.
And that is exciting. When do you think that will happen?
I am hoping it will be the summer coming up, so the 2023 season, I think it's called. So that is... that's within the next 7-8 months, I think.
So how are you preparing for that?
Right now, I'm not feeling super fit, so I want to work on bringing my fitness back to how I felt when I did the epic swim, and I think I'm close to that. So I want to bring my fitness back right now, also work on strength and flexibility for the next couple of months, and then I think September, October will be more focused on swimming and doing more time in the pool.
Do you have a coach, or do you just go to squats?
I have a couple of coaches, so I swim with Phil Rush on Sunday mornings, also swim with Timon at Bonobo on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then obviously Dougal with the washing machines when we go swim in the harbour.
Oh, that's good. So that is a lot of swimming. Like, how do you know how your weeks will look? Because we've been talking with other swimmers that they wear like 20Ks, like 30Ks a week, or 20 hours a week.
I'm not too sure. Well, I know Monday's rest day, and that we'll do most of the swimming in the weekend. Fortunate to work a pretty flexible Monday, Friday, 9 to 5 sort of job, so I can fit swimming around that, and I do have the weekends free to do longer swims in the summer. So that's probably what that will look like.
Nice. Well, best of luck with that. Keep
Thank
us
you.
posted, and maybe we can have another episode when you've swum Taupo to tell us a story about that.
I hope so.
Yes, me too. I will be following you. Thank you very much, Adriana, for that. That was great. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners?
No, thanks. Just thanks for having me on the podcast. Yeah.
And I will contact you in maybe 10 months, and then we can talk about Taupo.
Let's do it.
Exciting. Thank you for listening to the Swim in the Strait podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to our podcast, connect on social media at Swim in the Strait, and leave us a rating on your favorite podcast platform.